Okay, injury front. TakiTaki has a torn ACL, so he'll miss the remainder of the season, which is obviously very disappointing. Disappointed for Tak, playing at a really, really high level for us, playing a lot for us. So just disappointed for the young man. Other injury front, David Bell, he's day to day. We'll update you later in the week on his thumb. Anthony Schwartz is in the concussion protocol. And then Ronnie Harrison was evaluated for a concussion, but he cleared after the game and again this morning. Yesterday, very, very proud of our football team going on the road, getting a W, which we set out to do. So proud of the effort. Obviously, talking about the defensive scoring twice, special team scoring was outstanding. So team effort. And then we got to look for ways to improve. And we got to do that this week, going on the road versus a division opponent. An opponent we know well, they know us well. So December football in your division, looking forward to the challenge. But with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Coach. We'll start with Tom Withers.
Thanks, Rob. Hey, Coach, real quickly on Sione, what did it mean to you guys to have him step up into a tough spot with other injuries and play at the level that he did?
Yeah, Tak's one of my favorites. Plays very, very physically. Loves this game. Plays hard. Great teammate. And like you mentioned, he was playing more for us than he had in the past. And his role had expanded because he earned it. Was playing out of position, so to speak. We moved him to Mike linebacker, and he was doing a really nice job. So, disappointed for him, but excited for what that's going to mean for some other guys stepping up. And also I know what Sione's going to do with this rehab like he always does. He's going to attack it and be ready to go next year.
As far as Deshaun, I think understandable rust with the layoff. Kevin, what can you guys do this week to kind of accelerate him getting back to being the Deshaun Watson you need him to be?
Yeah, I think kind of like we talked about yesterday, that was the first one and the first one in a long time. So we knew that there was going to be a little bit of playing through that. And I think he gets that. He'll get more comfortable with the more game reps that he gets. And I think all those things that you look at offensively, all the things that you look at with Deshaun, they're all correctable.
Thank you, Tom. Mary Kay Cavendish next.
Yeah, Kevin, did you see enough when you went back and you watched the film today? Did you see plenty there that you feel that you can build on and be able to put together a good game plan for Deshaun so that he can go into Cincinnati and be competitive against a team playing at such a high level right now?
Yes, Mary Kay, without a doubt. And again, it's a team game. I understand, on offense, we have to play better than we played yesterday. And I expect us to. And in terms of putting together a plan, I really believe that's what you have to do every week. You got to look at, who you're facing, what gives them problems, and put together a game plan where you can have some success.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Kay. Scott Petrick, go ahead.
Hey, Kevin, staying on Deshaun. The issues yesterday, especially the inaccuracy, I guess some of those low throws, do you attribute all the issues to just the long layoff?
Yeah, again, I just think it's always getting back to the basics, specifically for Deshaun. Yes, there's a long layoff, so there's certain things that will only come with more game reps and more practice, and I expect that to happen.
And, a lot of times coaches talk about the jump from week 1 to week 2 or year 1 to year 2. Do you think it's reasonable to expect that he make a big jump in start number 2?
Yeah, I don't want to put any type of expectations on it per se, Scott. I think it's important for us to go find a way to win. That's what we did yesterday. Going to go on the road against a really good opponent this week. We just got to find a way to win.
Thanks, Scott. Cam Justice, you're up.
Kind of along those lines, Kevin, you talked about since you got here, the way you've wanted to, marry the run and the passing game. And obviously Deshaun was figuring things out and shaking that rust off yesterday. But in that game, were you able to get glimpses of how you'll be able to do that and incorporate him with Nick Chubb, with Kareem Hunt, with all those guys yesterday?
Yeah, again, I think that's something, Cam, that will come over the course of time. You can't get every play in one game. But I think there were some really, really good moments for the run game there. I thought we ran it effectively throughout the game. Got Nick and Kareem that ran very, very hard. I thought Deshaun added some nice elements to it as well. So always are going to look to build on that.
And we've talked about the importance of, guys like David Njoku blocking. And when you have them out, and even the injuries to the offensive line, are you seeing that as something you guys need to keep focusing on? Is that an area that you can grow in terms of how that offensive line and blocking has gone the past couple weeks?
Yeah, again, we were better yesterday, I believe, in the run game as an offense, and that does, to your point, Cam, incorporate the offensive line, the tight ends, the wide receivers, certainly. So always something to grow on, and we got to continue to do that. And I think it's a great challenge week in and week out to do that.
Thank you, Brett. Greetham, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, you've been obviously stressing it. We've asked you all year about the takeaways, but I think you had 8 all year and you had half that yesterday, turned into 24 points. Does that just reinforce, to the players how that single-handedly can be the difference in these games?
Without a doubt, Fred. I mean, to go get 4 takeaways, to score twice on defense, obviously to score on special teams, to take the ball away on special teams, those are the type of things that you're always looking to do, and that those help you win ball games. And as you know, they seem to come in bunches. So we're always looking for multiple games where we can get multiple takeaways, because it really changes the complexion of these games.
Thanks, Fred. Jeff Shadell, you have our next question.
Hey, Kevin, I want to ask you about the offensive line too. It seems like it's been out of sync a little bit lately. And do you think, is that all because of the injury to Ethan Posick, or how do you attribute that?
Yeah, I mean, ran the ball effectively yesterday, Jeff. So I think, like you mentioned with Ethan's injury, got to, Yelda's stepping up and doing a nice job for us. But I think week in and week out, you're going up against some very difficult fronts. And I think for us yesterday to block how effectively as we did, it wasn't perfect. I had some really nice runs mixed throughout, but it's always going to be a challenge when you're facing some of these fronts.
Thanks, Jeff. Let's go to Dale Ryder.
Yeah, Coach, losing TakiTaki, he's the third linebacker now you've lost for the season to a significant injury. Outside of JOK, what does that group look like? And I know you don't like personnel questions, but is Andrew Berry going to try and bring in some help like he did earlier in the year?
Yeah, we'll work through all those things. We have guys that have played Mike linebacker for us right now. So we got guys certainly that can do it. And Andrew obviously always works through those things with his staff. But we believe in the guys that we have, and they got to step up. Big shoes to fill, and that's part of the game.
And your return game really seems to have turned around these last couple of weeks. And obviously early in the season, we kept hammering you with questions about getting something there. And you were really adamant about staying the course and that. Do you feel some semblance of maybe validation that your patience with that particular area of the game has paid off, and now you're getting the dividends from that?
I mean, no. Not looking for validation. I just think we're trying to be consistent and trying to get good special teams play. So yesterday, Donovan did a great job getting vertical. The guys did a great job blocking, and he ran away from people and did a really nice job. But I think the big thing, Daryl, to your point, is we just got to play consistently. And in the special teams game, that's coverage and return phases. It's field goal, being able to be consistent there. I think that's what you saw yesterday.
Thank you, Daryl. Ashley Bastock is next.
Hey, Kevin, just as much as you can share after Deshaun's performance yesterday, and I mean, just with the rust in general, like what's your message, or what are you kind of stressing to him and this offense going into, another big division game in 6 days?
Yeah, I think you really have to learn from every rep you get, Ashley. Every player, every coach, learn from every one of those reps and come in here today like we did and watch the tape and learn from it. And I think that's so important for all of us. And Deshaun, that's his first start. So he got the first one out of the way. And I know he's looking forward to turning the page and really diving into Cincinnati and understanding this defense, and then putting together a plan and going out here and working on it this week. I think that really becomes our focus.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ashley. We'll go back to Scott Petrick.
Hey, Kevin, when it comes to middle linebacker, is it not just as simple as saying Deion Jones has done that, he's the next guy up?
Yeah, no, certainly. Deion's played for us, played at a high level at that position. We've had Jordan Kanazik's been in there. So we have options. We have guys that are going to be moving around potentially, but we'll make sure that we got a good plan going into this one.
And coming off such a big game for Tony, I think he's only been playing in the base. Is there a chance for his role to expand now without Taki?
Yeah, I think, again, when you lose a player, everybody's got to step up. So certainly guys earn roles and carve out roles, and those are the type of things we'll look at and talk about the next couple of days.
Thank you, Scott. Tony Grossi, you're next.
Yes. Hi. Two quickies. Number one, did Brissett change the play at the line on his one play?
No, well, I don't want to get into the specifics, but he did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Okay. Second one is, even though the defense has been relatively inconsistent the last 2 years, it has been consistent against Cincinnati and Baltimore. Do you attribute that to familiarity of opponent, or do you just match up well against those two teams?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Tony. I think it's a good question. Specifically to Cincinnati, I mean, there's familiarity on both sides, really. So they know how we play offensively, defensively, special teams. Obviously, we know the same. So it's a great matchup. They're really, really well coached. They have great players. So we got to make sure we put a plan together this week, and then we got to go play.
We'll take three more. Mary Kay Cabot, Matt Fontana, and Tom Withers. Mary Kay.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Jacoby, Deshaun, complimented him yesterday for, the invaluable help he was to him on the sidelines and all that. And obviously you used him for a snap. Because he's so well versed in this offense, do you envision, maybe even a package of plays for him to be ready to give him, something to do since he was so in sync with everybody on this team?
Yeah, we'll see as we go forward, Mary Kay, each game, what that game calls for and what that game plan calls for. Jacoby was a huge, huge help yesterday. He was awesome on the sideline, like he always is, was a help to, I know, Deshaun, that the rest of that offense. That's part of his role in picking us up on the sideline. I thought he did a great job.
Thank you.
Appreciate Mary Kay. Matt Fontana, go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin, I know you talked about the rust kind of with the passing, but I wanted to ask specifically about the RPOs. I mean, were there a couple of times that you could have seen Deshaun kind of keeping it yesterday? And is that also something that he just has to knock the rust off on the keep or give on the RPOs?
Yeah, I think all of the above. Some of the plays that will continue to work. There's always wrinkles to each game plan, and I think it's important for all of our players, the entire offense, to have a great understanding of what we're trying to accomplish in each one of those plays.
And then I apologize if you were asked specifically about it or not, but the interception, did Deshaun, if you got a chance to watch it on tape or even talk to him, did he just think the safety was going to kind of clear out on the over? I know he had a hand in his face too. Just kind of what did you see there on that INT?
Yeah, I think biggest thing was we were late, and we were late because of a couple things up front. So you got to learn from that one. If it's not clean, we got to find an incompletion on that play.
Thank you, Matt. Final question, Tom Withers.
Thanks, Rob. Coach, from a functionality, is that even a word? Functionality standpoint, did things go smoothly with Deshaun? It looked like he said something to you about the headset when he came to the bench after the interception.
Yeah, functionality was good. He did a nice job operating. It's always it takes 11 guys in the huddle. It's the quarterback's job, obviously, to get everybody in there and get it called, but everybody's got to be on point when it comes to substitutions, listening to the play call, breaking the huddle, getting lined up. So never perfect, hasn't been perfect, never will be, but we got to always continue to work to get better.
And in terms of the game plan you put together for Deshaun, in looking back at it, how much did it mesh what you thought would work with what did work?
Yeah, again, I think he did a nice job with what we're asking him to do. I think in the second half, as you all saw, I felt like we were in pretty good control with the way our defense was playing in that game. So really leaned into the run game, and the guys fought for some hard yards there in the second half.